Good afternoon and welcome to the Nighttime Heat right here on Pram FM 105.5. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gegema, that is in Imba County, Radio Kwatika in Bon County, and of course, Radio Wulagisi in Lofa County. We are streaming live as usual on Pram FM Morovia 105.5. Again, Pram FM Morovia 105.5. And of course, we are also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat, Facebook and YouTube channel. And of course, we're going to watch the show online. And of course, I wanted to not only watch the show, kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on the program, The Nighttime Heat. We come on this program every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are trying to gather some resources so that will come the full week, that is from Monday up to Friday. But in the meantime, we come on 3 times a week. Well, my panelists, I'm sure they will shortly be here. Only one so far this year, David Beneditus Rasmus Taber. I also heard that Moses Sandy is somewhere around. 2 of the panelists already walked in. The guys who I can say they are front in, they've walked in. But tonight we have, some interesting topics, to do justice to. I'm sure you heard about the stand up protest, right? We got a couple of videos. We'll be playing them for you. Want to just sit and enjoy yourself by listening to the radio, Prime FM 105.5, or are you watching online and just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook page, and of course, Nighttime Heat on your YouTube channel. And of course, you're going to watch the show. Want you to share tonight's show because it promises to be very, very interesting. Let me welcome Moses Sandy quickly. Moses is on. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. It is indeed a pleasure. Do you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, Moses.
Yeah, it is indeed a pleasure to connect with you, Tagman, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Famole, and our crew in studio. It is always a pleasure coming to talk to our people in Liberia. Thank you for the opportunity. You can see me, I'm driving. It's very cold here from my end. So you see me wearing a winter jacket. Did you hear me?
Moses, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And also, let's try to. Yes, I hear you, Moses. You are loud and clear. Let me welcome David Benedictus Rasmus Nambutawe. David, welcome to the program also.
Thank you, Moses. Not Moses, but Saba. Thank you very much.
That's the same people.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, let me welcome Edwin. Edwin, welcome.
Thank you, Slava. And I want to say good evening to our listening public and also to my brother Moses in the United States. I want to say again, glad to be here tonight to serve our people quality information.
Okay, Josh Kennedy, my namesake, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. George. I'm so happy to be here again. It's not easy, but thank you for the opportunity granted us to make our input on your show. You've been a very good friend, and frankly, I want to appreciate our listeners for always following us, and we always appeal to them to kindly share the show and then allow others to have the opportunity. And also to my co-panelists, I want to say thank you and good evening. To my American brother, Mr. Sandy, thank you. You are welcome.
Okay, so gentlemen, first of all, let me ask each and every. I know normally before we come to this program, we got something on mind that I want to talk about that may not be part of the major discussion points. So let me try to ask first David Benedictus Rasmus Tawe, Nangwe Tawe. Let me add Nangwe there quickly. I think I need a bottle of water quickly to take in Number, what is it that been trending on your mind before coming?
You know, it's often said that the media is a watchdog society. But who watches the watchdog? You know, it's the $1 million question that people have always asked. And as media people, we've always lambasted government and government officials, lambasted concession companies in terms of bad labor practice. But the bad labor practice we talk about, we've always accused government of and other people of, other institutions or companies of. It's very, very high in the media. Very, very high. Media owners, publishers, including others who are not journalists but have invested in the profession, have invested in, you know, newspapers and radio stations. Majority of them, they practice bad labor practice. They practice bad labor. For example, you own a radio station or you run a newspaper, you hired people called reporters or journalists to work for that newspaper or magazine or newspaper or radio station. And when it comes to pay, you don't pay them. And the excuse is, oh, well, you know, no money coming, you know, there's no advertisement, no this, no that. Sometimes it is true, but in some cases, what raises concern Sabbath and others is that, look, your publisher or the man who you worked for is telling you that, oh, no money, but yet and still, he changes vehicles all the time. He building a dream house. A reporter gets sick and there's no money. A reporter wants to go somewhere for a story. He pays his own way. He buys his own scratch cards. I mean, but yet and still your boss is telling, but yes, the boss expects a story from you, but doesn't know why you go through to get a story. They gave you an ID card, you know, and as a result, you know, because of this lack of pay and poor excuses of publishers and media owners, some of the journalists engage in extortion.
Okay. All right. Let's leave you there, Dave. I think you
unethical practices.
Yeah, you have a genuine concern.
A journalist gets sick, and there's also as calls on all the radio stations because he can or she can afford to underwrite the cost of medication. That's absolutely wrong.
Okay, all right. I think you have a genuine concern. It has to do with our media managers and owners, you know, the way they treat our colleagues who work with them. Hoping that they are listening, you know, because this is alarming, it's troubling, and they need to do something about that. Ed, so what went friend on your mind apart from the discussions tonight, the topic?
Well, there are key significant things that I think are happening in the country, which include the electrification of the RIA highway. I've been seeing videos, people being excited about, you know, having electricity along that corridor. I think it's a big plus for the folks at the LEC, including myself, who work there, for the government, because that place has always been considered a death trap at night, even with now the roads being, you know, expanded and, you know, activities taking place. So and also that's the first thing that people see when they come into the country, and that speaks a volume, you know, about.
So electricity restored now from the airport all the way to ERW Junction. Is that what you're saying?
No. So they're doing it per phases. Okay. But I think they've gone, you know, a huge mile.
Okay.
You know, going towards the airport, and also we need to caution our brothers and sisters who are driving during the festive season. You know, the roads are packed. People are trying to get their way out, so people need to be very careful, you know, how they drive. Sometimes you see the, you know, our brothers from the US, they drive in excessive speed, they're doing this and that. You have to be very careful. The life you see in your own life. You know, so that's one thing was trending right now in my mind. Also, that we
all right, Josh, let's hear from you.
Well, I'm moved by the cleanliness of the city. I'm very inspired now in terms of sanitation.
Okay.
Yeah. See, even the way you used to see the pollution everywhere you go, you see all the manhole bus on the streets. Actually, they have reduced to a larger extent.
Someone, there's echo. Someone has to mute. There's echo.
What is
George,
challenge
there's
now I
serious
see
echo in the
is
background. Someone has to mute.
water plastic is plastic that people drink, just drop it. So that's where problem corporation. I want to tell them. So that's where City Corporation. I want to tell them thank you and all their partners they're working with. Maybe recommend. I want to we should start considering. We should start considering an alternative. Affordable. That would be affordable, because the water price is cheap.
I think for the issue of the water plastic used to litter on the road, I think it's not the responsibility of the MC.
It's just about education. People can you can't be in a vehicle and you dump water and plastic and just drop it. I put that need to be educated because even if the MC was sweeping, hour every hour.
Several containers solution. I think we need to look at that. We're not saying that they should take their businesses from them now, but there's something that we need to work on.
Let's see Moses, what's been training on your mind, Moses.
Okay, before I speak, somebody I just want to ask if you can talk to everyone over there. The echo in the background is very serious. If people can just if we can just mute. So this is what I would like to say. I would like to celebrate myself today. I would like to celebrate myself today because I will go down in history as one of the Liberians that raised the red flag regarding the FOIA project. And as a result of that, the government has come to set the record straight. Even though the clarification has raised more questions than answer, but at least the government has mustered the courage to come and say, this is what happened in Lofa. So let me say hats off to myself. Let me express gratitude to myself. Let me express gratitude to the many Liberians who persistently reminded the president that he needed to speak on this matter. And the Ministry of Information has broken that silence. Thank you.
All right, Moses, thank you very much. Thank you. We really appreciate your concern. Gentlemen, let's try to get into our first topic quickly. Again, we wanted to share the show tonight. It promises to be very interesting. We got some major discussions. Just share the show. Go on your Facebook page and you tap Nighttime Heat. And of course, you're going to watch the show online. And also, if you are in the diaspora, you can just go on your YouTube channel, because I know many of you on that side, it's the YouTube that people normally watch these sort of shows on. So just tap Nighttime Heat, and of course, you hit the notification bell, and you subscribe and you hit the notification bell, and of course, you're going to watch the show online. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. We streaming live on Pram FM 105.5, Pram FM Morovia 105.5, and of course our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Gentlemen, today's stand held a protest. They've been publicizing that protest, I think, almost 2-3 months now. And today, on the 17th of December, we saw some protesters in the streets. First, let's try to watch this video quickly. Let's try to watch this video. Let's see what's there on the video. Let's watch it.
Arrested. Nothing you did? You never violated that? Speak to us now. You never violated the police? Did you respect them? What did you do instead? Why were you arrested? Why were you arrested? Arrested. Nothing you did? You never violated that? Speak to us now. You never violated the police? Did you respect them? What did you do instead?
Why were you arrested?
Okay. Okay, gentlemen, let's first hear from each and every one of us. I know all followed the protests. We saw the number of individuals, though we didn't check them, but we saw the crowd. Let's try to play another video quickly. If you can just get another video quickly, let's try to play that.
You're not going to say you worried about the protest. Then why would police arrest you?
It's the same video. It's the same video. Let's try to.
Tell us your name. Are you a protester?
Okay, I think he's trying to upload the video quickly. Gentlemen, let me hear from each of you. Not Moses, but David Benedictus Rasmussen Nangwe Tabwe. If you didn't maybe go there to see for yourself the protest that was taking place today, you might have also follow online. Let's hear from you your candid opinion as to about how it went and some of the things that happened. Although we're going to those major things that happened. Your candid opinion.
My candid opinion is, look, I made a brief stop, during the early hours of the protest, and they were already, in fact, before the group could come from wherever they came from, there were some elements of the stand who were already around the University of Liberia area, and I stood among them. And in fact, there's an old man called CDC Papi. In fact, he had bread and other things in his possession. He said that it was possible that he would have been arrested and taken to court, and so he had a food prepared already. And that created an impression on my mind that, there was something about, and this is why he took a food along with him. But the Constitution, Liberian laws permit protests. Every Liberian or group of Liberians have the right to protest, to vent out their grievances or to express themselves as to what is bothering them, what the government is doing, what the government isn't doing. So the Constitution allows that. But at the same time, the Constitution also obliges the security forces to protect life and properties. So if the security forces, particularly the police, draws a red line, said no one crosses the line, I think the protesters should understand that there's a reason why that red line is drawn and they shouldn't cross it. So any attempt to cross such a red line will be provocative to the police. And if the police is not tolerant in terms of the way they would deal with the situation at that moment, I mean, it will turn into violence.
Okay.
Or if the police try to tell the crowd or the protesters to push behind and they stay insist, and even put up a behavior that threatens or poses threat to the security of even the police or ordinary citizens, I mean, the police would have the right to protect itself and also protect other citizens.
We'll talk about the police prevention of the protesters, but I want you to be specific as to the attendance. So what did you see? If you
Well, the
you think there was
attendance,
some huge crowd,
for example, the attendance, to me, yes, there was a reasonable number of person that turned out, but uh, it was not a huge group.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was just a small group of protesters, maybe up to 300. For in fact, almost like the number of journalists that show up even overshadowed or overwhelmed the number
You
of
sure of that? The
protesters.
number of journalists who overwhelmed the number of protesters?
That's what I
Okay,
that's my
let's
observation.
hear from you. If you didn't attend the protest, Edwin, I'm sure you might have seen the video, the pictorial evidence. What's your kind of opinion about how it went?
So I want to take a back because people always misinterpret the Constitution.
Mhm.
The Constitution, Article 17, is clear. It gave us the right to assemble in an orderly and peaceful manner
Okay.
at all time to petition your elected representative. Now, people sometimes take it out of context and say you have the right to protest. So if you go into the definition of protest, yes, protest can be orderly.
Mhm.
It can be done in a proper way. But when people get in the street, when people start taking parts, when people start going in front of the executive mansion to say they're going to cook, they're going to do XYZ, that's not orderly and peaceful manner. And sometimes people try to equate that because it happened yesterday, so it should happen to today. Then it means that we're not moving forward.
If I'll borrow from our good friend Moses, that moral equivalence, and
Of
I
course.
always talk about. Yeah.
Then we are not setting the example for our generation or children that will come after us. Because
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
But
so-
I want you to be honest with the attendance. You think there were
no, it was actually
reasonable-
no, it was not actually properly attended. And again, I think even the timing for the process was not properly calculated.
Okay, let me hold you there. Judge, you saw if you didn't attend, if you didn't see the crowd, I'm sure you might have watched it online. What's your honest opinion?
There are several photos, but for me, I took keen interest in the drone photos.
Mhm.
The drone was actually overshadowed the entire crowd and picked on the ground to see if the place was really packed.
Okay.
But if you look at the video recording, if you even get 200 people here, you'll be looking at thousands of people.
Mhm.
But if you look at the drone photo, you will see that it was I call it sparsely populated.
Sparsely populated.
Yeah, I will use it. The place, a lot of people didn't go. Probably
It means not many,
not
persons
many
were there.
people really
Okay, let me hold you there. Moses,
Yeah.
I'm sure you might have watched it online. Let's hear from you about the attendance. We'll go into police prevention,
Yeah.
police arrests. We'll go to all of that and justification for the protest. We'll go into all of that. But let's talk about first attendance and what did you see here?
Well, look, honestly speaking, I would like to agree with the views shared by other of our colleagues in the studio. The turnout was poor, extremely poor. I don't think this is what Mr. Moba Molu wanted, because prior to the protest, the adjective he used was that this was going to be the biggest. I may be wrong, but I think I heard him say that December was going to be the biggest protest. And the number of people that we saw out there, that number was far less. But something that really stood out to me, Silver, is the vulnerability of our young people in our country and the problem of destitution. People exploit our people. They use them for political reasons. They throw chicken change at them. They go to Nutriton, they go to Slipway and throw a few dollars and put them in harm's way. So, but if you talk to some of those people that were out there today and you ask, why were you in the street? They won't be able to tell you. No, it was only on the basis of what? Peer pressure. Somebody offered something and they went there. And I don't intend to put our people down, but poverty is really, really hurting our country.
Okay, let's hold you there. Let's hold you there. Now, so gentlemen, with the turn up at the stand protest, Dave, let me ask you: do you conclude that the protest was a failure?
Obviously, it was a failure because I believe the organizers expected a huge number of persons to have turned out.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, the number that turned out wasn't impressive.
Yeah.
And my best guess is Mamba Molu and the other organizers were disappointed.
Okay, let me hold you there. Edwin, do you think the protest was a failure?
It was indeed a failure. Like I said in my opening, the timing of the protest right around the time people are going out there to hustle for the festive season for their family, and then you come and organize a protest to get them off track to go and sit somewhere, or because you want to showcase that you are the biggest opposition group or pressure group in the country. So people, and I think our people are gradually losing interest in this kind of a thing.
Okay, Edwin.
It was a failure in terms of turnout, but the message, whether it was wrong or not, the message went.
It went across anyway.
It went across. So I couldn't just sit and say it was a total failure.
Okay, like David Tabwe had said.
I'm not going to respond to that. But yes, because for every protest, whether the number or not, there's a message that the protesters would like to send. And once that message is aired.
So in other words, you're saying that in terms of attendance, it was a failure. But in terms of getting the message out,
the message went.
So you felt different from the two people. Okay. No. You don't agree with me. Let's hear from you, most. Okay, I think we've uploaded some videos now. Let us try to play this one that we'll have quickly.
Welcome, folks. It's a long day. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and depending on your location, depending on where you are. It's good to be here. We've been with Stand all alone, and we are now here at the grounds of the Capitol, right before the executive mansion. The police are all here. There's a straight buffer zone that have been set up here. But come on live. Stand is now approaching the Capitol, and there you see the group, the crowd coming in. And so please share the video so others can join as we bring you live coverage of what is it here. Stay negotiating with the police. Folks, let's continue to share the video. And let's continue to share the live. So there is a storm of traffic now.
Gentlemen, we saw the crowd. Okay, from the analysis, Dave said it was a flop. Edwin said the same thing, but there was an amendment of that. He said, according to George, he said, well, the message went, although the attendance was poor. But let's look at the justification. Oh, I didn't ask Moses. Moses, do you think the protest was a total flop, or some successes were achieved?
Look, let's come back to what we call in journalism, the media is the message. Moba Molu is former chairman of the CDC. Moba Molu has a history of misrepresenting the truth. So what would Moba Molu tell Liberians that they will follow him for? The very thing that he's talking about today, when he was chairman of the CDC for the last 6 years, did he ever raise his voice?
He didn't see it.
There was just a mere publicity stunt. It was a failure. On messaging, it was a failure. If I'm going to believe you, if I have to listen to you, I will look at you critically. In terms of messaging, it was a failure.
Moses, let me hold you there.
I wanted to come in small.
Yeah.
Sunday, I don't think we look at the credibility of the messenger. We want to see what are the message went. I think that's where the Mr. George is coming.
Credibility also matters.
I know.
So Yes,
he's
George.
not credible.
No,
When it
but
comes to the
Yes,
issue,
George.
Mr. Molo is not credible.
no, but the thing
Yes.
is,
He went to achieve a particular purpose, even though the disruption side we don't support it, but the message that he went to send, that message went. While I
Yeah.
was giving the rightful person that he wanted that message to go to or not, and what is contained in that message, I don't support it though, but that particular message went.
now the question I asked,
So, but look, Saba, if I could just say this quickly, right? If I had to buy a message, if I have to listen to somebody, I am looking at the person critically. Is this person trustworthy?
let me hold you there,
Is this
Moses.
person saying the truth?
Moses, let me hold you there. You talking
Sure,
about
sure.
credibility. Moses, 1 minute. You are talking about credibility. Moses, I'm sure you followed a protest of Bring Back Our Money. Are you saying those who conducted a protest are more credible than Molu? Because we had Costa, we had even some of those in government today. They held similar protests. So are you saying that they are more credible than Molu? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I would say yes.
What makes them credible?
I would say they are. Yes, so that's two things. Yeah,
Moses,
yes.
Moses, take for instance Costa.
Yes.
Costa.
Yeah.
A man who is not consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know him very well, right? He was at the head of that protest at the time.
Yeah.
So what makes them credible as compared to Molu?
Okay, quickly. So
Yes,
quickly, let me say this. Yes, it is true that Mr. Henry Costa is a chameleon. He wavers. He falls for the highest bidder. But when it comes to truth telling, when you look at the two individuals, Henry Costa is far better in terms of integrity as compared to Moba Molu.
No.
Do you remember when Moba Molu came and told you people that he met Obama? Do you remember when Moba Molu told you people that what he said regarding the former president was a liquor talk?
Moses, some of the inconsistencies of Moba Molu, are they not the same inconsistencies of Costa today? When Costa organized the Bring Back Our Money protest? Well, let me hold you there. Moses, okay. Let me hold you there. Yeah. I'm trying to let me hear from you, David. Let's establish justification for the protest. Do you think reasons why those people went in the streets? Do you think those reasons are justified?
The reasons are unjustifiable.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing, the protest is held under the caption "Lead." L-E-A-D, lead or leave. L-E-A-V-E, leave. Lead or leave. Then the question is Joseph Boakai not leading? He's leading.
Okay.
He's leading because he made promises that are being fulfilled, that everyone is seeing being fulfilled. For example, he said, I will establish war crime code.
Mm-hmm.
The process is on the way. He said, I will rehabilitate and build roads. The roads are being built. He said, I will electrify Liberia. The process is on. He said, I will fight graft or corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that happening, dismissing, suspending officials of government that are in violation of the law or that are suspected of squandering public funds. And that's leadership, right? Where people erred, he corrects the errors, either by suspending you or dismissing you. No matter who you are, no matter how related you are.
But let's note that corruption was not the only reason for which they went to the streets, right?
No, but the leadership. I'm talking about leadership.
Okay.
I'm talking about leadership here. They said lead or leave.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Joseph Boakai doing that doesn't make him a leader as you're speaking? Lead or leave? He's leading.
Okay, so you're saying that according to you, the protest was, the reason for which
the protest was unwarranted.
Okay, yeah, Ed.
Well, I will go with the same that they have no justifiable reasons to be in the street.
Okay.
you know. And if I would just take you back, you try to bring this whole issue of credibility and consistency or truth telling us. So those are different words, you know, inconsistent, be consistent, or being credible, truth telling. Everybody here knows Molu doesn't say the truth. Just few months back, Molu was on the radio saying things about his Standard Bearer when he was party chairman. And he came back and said that was liquor talk. This man went and said he met the most.
Let's forget. No.
We need to go there to go the character.
No.
Yeah.
If we're going to character, then we're going to better characters here.
Okay.
Because Akami, protests that were held yesterday. People who are behind the protest are not quite different from.
Let's look at the genuine
truth telling and consistency.
But that's the same way.
All right.
Individuals who are behind protest.
So agree.
Individuals who are behind protest yesterday, they have similar problems with consistency.
Okay, agree.
And today they still have
agree, but you don't have problem with truth telling.
No, but that's why I say I have problem with truth telling, because some of the issues that they raised, some of the issues that they raised before today, that they raised, you know, about the previous administration.
Well, they
didn't exist.
No,
some didn't exist. Let's say I'm saying some.
Now you say some, but majority existed.
No, we're not going to go into majority or not majority, but some didn't exist.
I think Mr. Molu is not honest with his message. Reason being, Mr. Molu have gone to the president. He should have gotten something, but he didn't get it. He got frustrated.
When did you go to the president? You know.
Oh, look, I can tell you the person I'm copying is Dr. Lester Tenney. I don't want to go into several details here. So, Dr. Lester Tenney is always.
He want to go see the president privately.
Yes.
And he made some demands.
Not demands. In fact, he really wanted something.
The boss
and the president told him to wait. This waiting now, he was delayed because the president probably wanted to see his reaction.
Okay.
And he went astray, wanted to do this.
So it means that he may not even get it anymore.
Yeah, so he was not honest about this protest.
Okay.
Even though I still hold the belief, and I agree that the message he went to send, the message went, right?
So was the protest justified? And that's the question.
No, that's why I said because you're not honest about it.
Let's hear from you, Moses, about the justification of the protest.
Yeah, I stated already, the justification, like other the guys have said, lead or leave. One of the first objectives was what? That Joseph Barker or Destiny from his office would have received the message. That didn't happen. So that was a failure. And you know, you talk about lead. Let's do the comparative analysis. Are you talking about Mr. Weah and President Bouaka? You know, I'm a critic of President Bouaka. But when it comes to productivity, leadership, Mr. Bouaka and Mr. Weah are not comparable. The man has demonstrated this consistently. So what is this man talking about? Lead or leave? I agree with everything all you guys have said.
Okay.
The objective, it was just a mere publicity stunt, man.
Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, let's go into another aspect of the protest. We saw the video of arrest of individuals. In fact, I heard that also Arvin Weiser of CDC was also picked up. A couple of individuals, we saw the videos, were picked up by police, whether for violation of or whether for being part of the protest. We don't know, but let's admit that since this administration came, there has absolutely been no protest where protesters were not arrested. On several occasions, nearly all of the protesters have been arrested. In fact, the last protest we heard about, I think the chair of the CDC was picked up, but later on he was released, and others were arrested. In fact, Sekou Carrasco and the rest of them. Let's be honest with the way the police normally conduct itself, especially during the protest. We saw during the last administration, when people protested, the police was always out guarding them, walking along with them, providing food for them. But unlike now, today, that's not happening. Let's do a comparison analysis here of protests yesterday and protests today, vis-a-vis the police conduct. Let's begin with you, Dave.
The first thing during the regime of President Weah, many of those in the police were even considered partisan police. Some of them were seen with even barrels. I don't know, blue or red barrels. They were seen with barrels. Some of them were even seen with party T-shirts. And so the police and the protesters at that time were family. They were partisans because they were pursuing the same cause. So the police had no right. Police had to sympathize with them. I witnessed a protest right here on Hadikore near the U.S. Embassy. I covered that particular protest when the students came here and protested, peaceful protest, and stood right in front of the U.S. Embassy. Police came ahead. Few police guys came ahead, and in a twinkle of an eye, another group of police came, and almost like they accompany the CDC, COP, or whatever COP, when they got to the place that which was considered a counter protest. How can you counter a peaceful protest with violence? When they came, all of a sudden, in the presence of the police, they started stoning the students who were even peaceful and calm in front of the U.S. Embassy. What did the police do? What did they do? They dispersed, and they left the students in the hands of the violent counter-protesters. I witnessed that. Many other journalists who were on the scene will tell you that. Even journalists, some of us, were nearly injured or hurt. So that's a big difference. Now you have a police. Yes, of course, I'm not saying that they're perfect. There are some bad elements in the current Liberian National Police. But what they're doing is strictly doing their job, protecting lives and properties. We have not seen any party T-shirts or barrels on them. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no way you can compare the police now, even down to SSS officer, I don't know, how do we call that? I think EPS. They were seen with barrels.
Okay, so in essence, we are saying that the police then didn't conduct themselves well.
They didn't conduct themselves well, so they had every right to have accompany.
The police then didn't conduct itself well in protest. But today, there's a difference. Today, the police is conducting itself well. Is that what you are saying, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Moses, let's hear from you. Not you now. Moses, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I've already stated my position on this matter. The protest, I personally believe the protest was unnecessary. Don't forget when people are in the street. So let me say this.
Maybe you are not following. We are not talking about.
I'm following. We're talking about the police, right? Yeah, you're talking about the police, right? So just what I would like to say. It is true that people have the right to assemble, but they have to conduct themselves appropriately. If people are getting out of control, someone opposed their vehicles that were vandalized by the protesters. I saw a video from the Capitol. I saw protesters engaging people there in a violent way, and you expect the officers to stand by? The role of the police is what? To restore law and order. So I think the police conducted itself appropriately.
Okay. All right. Let's hold it down. Edwin.
So, first of all, Slobo, there are laws in our country that speaks to violations. Whatever you see the police doing, they're operating within the scope of the law. Our penal law talks about these kind of incidents where people get up in the street to impede traffic, to the XYZ. The law calls for that. They are crimes. Some of them are infractions. You can arrest them temporarily and ask them to pay fine. If they don't pay the fine, they go to jail. So nobody's here breaking the law. Now, what you talked about yesterday, because this did happen, we all were here when the June 7 protest happened. The police went in there and used heavy hand to move people from in the street. They did that, you know. So because one time there were people walking in the street and police were there.
Protests?
Yes, of course.
When people attempted coking around the executive,
of course, the police moved there with heavy hand to move people from there. Right? Not because one time people went to do another protest and police were there in car giving them water or so. So it means that the police at that time, you know, were better than the police today. The police are not there to give you water and food in the street. Okay. There are laws. That's why they are law enforcement officers.
Okay,
they enforce the law.
Let me hold that. Yeah, Edwin.
Yeah,
George
Kennedy. Yeah. So let me say this clear: there is no comparison. The police today, generally, is far better than the police yesterday.
Okay.
The truth is, Mr. George
Tagbe?
Yeah, Mr. Tagbe touched on it. Most of the protests that you saw during the SY administration, you saw counter protests. In fact, the first thing that they did on to the University of Liberia was to form PROSA as a counter-violent group to sue.
Yeah.
Instability on the URL campus increased. The second thing was to always mobilize the CDC, Sabu whatever group, whenever there is this plan for protest, they can't do counter protest. They were influenced by the security forces, and there was nothing done by their actions. Right. So those things you see today, yes, police physically arresting people. And Carrasco said, I'm going to go to court when I arrested him. Maybe when he went to show him the law, so he kept quiet. Because when you violate the law, when you go, you want to argue, they say, this is the penal code. This is why it says.
Okay.
So you go, you keep quiet.
All right. So, gentlemen, let's try to transition. It's on this program, the panelists have said it clearly that the protest miserably failed, although the message was sent. But in terms of attendance, they miserably failed on that. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat rated on Pram FM 105.5. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gagema, Radio Kwatiga, and Radio Wodogisi. We are also streaming live on Pram FM Monrovia 105.5 on the Pram FM page. You can go there and, of course, you're going to watch the show online. Also, we are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat. You're going to follow the show online as well. Gentlemen, let's try to transition. At long last, the government has broken silence about the much talked about presidential villa that was being constructed, or that's still being constructed in Foya, Lofa County. I want us to listen to the Minister of Information and see what we hear from him. But before then, we heard government actors. Deputy Information Minister spoke on that. Kula Fufara spoke on that. The Deputy Minister at the Executive Mansion, Minister of State, spoke on that. The Minister of Public Works also spoke on that. The Minister of State said you're going to check because he doesn't know what was. So there was this whole conflict in accounts coming from government cycle. Let's try to listen to Jeremy Pierre quickly.
That project is called. And as I on this topic, you welcome the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs.
Okay.
From the Ministry of State, Honorable Anthony B. Kessel. Welcome, Minister. Thank you. So what is FOIA is called the Mano River Union Center. Presidential Center for Regional Peace and Development. I repeat, the project is called the Mano River Union Center, Presidential Center for Regional Peace and Development. It is a project of the government of Liberia. It is a strategic asset specifically designed to host sub-regional, regional, and global high-level gatherings, meetings, conferences, and talks focused on mediation, conflict resolution, and economic integration. It includes a 500-seat conference hall, secure accommodations in 9 units for visiting dignitaries. It is situated on approximately 7 acres of land in Foya, Lofa County. Why the project? Liberia is the oldest independent nation in the Mano River Basin, which consists of 4 countries. Liberia is respected as a regional leader and is looked up to for guardians on key issues, including regional peace and security. The center thus offers a secure and strategic space to host national, global, and presidential dialogues when Liberia needs to do so. Liberia's current role on the United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member over the next couple of years, as well as its esteemed and respected standing on the sub-regional, regional, continental, and global stage, requires it to be well prepared to support and lead regional dialogues on peace and security beyond the Mano River Union. The facility, honor, and within the project will be a significant and strategic enhancement to the country's current role. Why Foya? Foya district is a strategic location in the northern part of Lofa County, situated at the confluence of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, the 3 founding members of the Mano River Union. Its distance from the bustling suburban areas of Lofa and other parts of Liberia makes it an ideal geographic hub for cross-border security and conflict, as well as peace discussions. The people of Foya have long been active in dialogues with their neighbors in Sierra Leone and Guinea on regional peace and development issues through the Makona River Organization. The government of Liberia sees this initiative as a project for the Mano River Union region to promote peace, security, and cross-border collaboration at different levels. Why the confidentiality surrounding the project? The project's confidentiality was strictly governed by security protocols, necessary for constructing facilities with security implications, intended to host high-level officials and events requiring high security and sensitivity. It is unconventional to publish or discuss the blueprint and security outline or layout of a facility designed to host regional and global leaders, VIPs, and other dignitaries while under construction. This helps prevent security vulnerabilities. The recent unauthorized drone footage that sparked debate about the project posed a risk to the security and integrity of the project and proves the point being made. As mentioned earlier, the facility is not and will never be a private property at all. It is a public property owned by the government of Liberia, but with national, regional, and global implications. Funding of the project. The project is financed through a combination of contributions from national, regional, and global entities, as well as private individuals and businesses. The total investment in the project is estimated at approximately $6.1 million.
Okay, gentlemen, I said we listen to the Minister of Information detailing about the project in Foya. One will ask, why didn't the government come up? Why did the government allow its actors, spokespeople to conflict themselves, and at the end the government just coming up? But there are more. There could be more questions to answer. But let me ask first, Dave. Do you think with the latest breaking silence by the government, does it put all the concerns to bed now, or there are still more questions than answers?
It depends on who is interpreting the minister's statement.
Mhm.
The other thing is that the reason why there were so many speculations and innuendos and allegations was because the entire project was shrouded in secrecy, right?
Mhm.
But he said about the confidentiality, security implications. We are not. I am now a security person, so I can say it's not the reasons given are not genuine. But it is strange to Liberians that the government will undertake such a huge project without even a groundbreaking ceremony. These are things that Liberian people are not used to build such a gigantic project in secrecy. It was strange to Liberians, and this is why the matter was handled. The speculations and all what people say spread like wildfire. That government are doing something in secret, because it's the first time to me in history that government will undertake such a gigantic project without the Liberian people knowing, until somebody had to publish it before the secret leaked. The secret leaked. Now, and some government officials spoke on that when the secret leaked, but they gave conflicting information. The other person said, I don't know, go ask a person. Almost like the government's, should I call it popular relation arm, or the government spokespeople, they don't coordinate their activities. As a result, people said different things at different times, and that further exacerbated the situation. Now, the government has not come up to provide clarification. The government said it was doing it because it kept it in, it was a matter of confidentiality because of the security implications. But the project has not completed yet. The construction is still going on. Why has the government not come out to say what it was expected to say ever since? It doesn't also pose a threat to the building. You know, that's my concern.
Okay, so in another word, you are saying that the clarification, the breaking silence by the government to the Ministry of Information still raises more questions than answers.
It still raises more questions than answers.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Well, my only disappointment is that you and David promised to go up there to go and give us the information, but you guys didn't go.
We decided not to go because the government was coming out. The government was coming out. That's why we didn't go.
We gotta hint that the government was coming out.
But we're still making that trade because we still want to see that.
Well, that's good. You know, it's good for you guys who are journalists to actually dig out these.
Yeah, we'll go to FOIA.
You know, but I would say this. I don't think in any way it tries to deepen the, you know, the conflict or the information. Now, at the beginning of the project, people may have heard what the intent were. I think when Daniel Sano came and said, look, this was a Mana River funded project and blah, 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 and people took it out of proportions. Miss Kula came and said different thing, or what it is the same thing, and then whoever said it.
I understand there was a statement that came from the MRU itself. Dismissing the information.
That statement was not authenticated. We didn't see it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it because I even checked the Mana River.
Go ahead.
Stuff, so I didn't see it. Now,
the question is,
now my thing is that the arm of government that is responsible for breaking out these information was the actual minister today, whether today was yesterday or so, that came out and said this is the intent of this project. Now, if you want to go further to go and investigate, yes, it is your job as journalists to find out how much did the government actually spend, where did the money come from? Did the money come from the national budget that was not budgeted for? Was it outside budget spending? Was it Mana River money? It is now left with you, the journalists, to go further to investigate that. But from the standpoint of Liberia, I think the information is necessary at this standpoint. The project itself is necessary.
The question I ask you,
and I answer that question.
No, you didn't answer. Does this clarification put to bed all the concerns, or does it still raise more questions?
In my view, it should put to bed, but in the view of you, the journalist, you want to go further.
It should put to bed. Okay, let's hear from you, George.
It raises more questions. It is good that it came, but there are still lot more questions to be asked and to be answered. The minister said this project, the funds, the 6.1 million, is a contribution from the government of Liberia, other governments in the South region, private sector people. I would want to know how much each of those, private sector, other governments, how much came from them. Other people would like to know probably, did they go through our PPCC process? You know, other people want to know who is the contractor. And, you know, there are other things. But actually the project itself, as we've always said here, no matter what you do, nobody can put those buildings on their heads and carry it all over the country. The story definitely was going to come up. Today, it is out. It is a major step taken, but lots more questions to be.
I have before Moses comes in.
Yeah.
Even today's disclosure or yesterday's disclosure, the government said they were keeping it confidential because of its security implications. If I were the government, I would have still kept it confidential until the building is completed, right? But the fact that the government can come up to admit now, it exposes the government's weakness, that it can withstand public pressure. That it can withstand public pressure. So because it can withstand public pressure, it has to come and disclose what it was keeping confidential, and that's absolutely weakness on the part of the government.
There's some major information that they have not released, and the minister said, "Oh, not going to release it."
Okay, let's hear from
design. Let's
hear from.
I mean, it can expose the government weakness. It can withstand public pressure.
Okay, let's hear from Moses quickly. Moses,
the engineer behind it.
what's your analysis?
Look, Jeremy, this is laughable. But publicly, let me express my admiration for you, Mr. Kennedy, and my brother, David Tagwe. Mr. Family, you also spoke well on this issue. Look, Jeremy, let me make this disclaimer. The Minister of Information is my friend and brother. We even communicated today. But publicly, I beg Minister P, I want to differ with him. It is very difficult to lie. The current situation we're talking about is a public relation disaster for this government. This will fund this government until 2029. Like David said, your argument, Minister Pierre said, oh, well, security implications. Liberians are not asking for the blueprint. They're not telling us, give us the blueprint of this project. The question Liberians are asking is, who owns the project? How is this project being funded? The minister came and said, support funding for the project comes from both national and international and private individuals. Who are these individuals? How much did the regional group, the MRU, the member countries, how much each of those countries contribute towards this project? How much is the Liberian government contributing? Or how much did the Liberian government commit to this? What was the bidding process? The public procurement process? Why didn't you break the news? This is unusual. Whenever public projects are initiated in the country, the people are told from day one, we'll break ground. This will cause this. You ask the Minister of Public Works, the man who manages government projects in the country. The man declined to speak on the topic. He said, oh, go and talk to the people at the executive mansion. The very Daniel Sando, who is today telling us that we should believe him. The man came and said this was the initiator of the MRU. The MRU secretariat disputed the claim. The information is in the public domain. The very minister walked by his statement. Today he comes and says, this is a project of the government. This is where again we say, why? The media is the message. It ain't made loud before. And now he's telling you today, this is the situation. Will you believe it? The Butler administration will go down. This will haunt this administration through this. I mean, we all understand. I know the president means well for the country, but on this one, it's a major political blunder. The government blunder, yes.
Moses, thank you. You made yes. You want to
No,
okay.
no.
Now, gentlemen, the whole issue regarding this project, it started some months ago. I think with Eddie Jauro, when he came up with the whole video, the whole pictorial, and the cost as well, and he put it at $10 million. So he started running. Now, with the reactions that came from the government actors, the minister of lately was the minister of the new minister of state. When he went there, he said he didn't know basically about this project. Daniel Sando came and attributed the project to the MRU. Kula Fofana, they didn't know.
Even the public works minister said.
Public works minister said he didn't know as well. Gentlemen, now that the government has come out, how does this nationally and internationally, because tomorrow there's going to be reflected again in some of the international reports, how does this government, how will people see the image and the truth-telling nature of this government a government that came to power to undo all the mess that it says previous government did. When we heard about former president, we are building Condomun, that was major noise. And these government's actors ran with that. All the former president we are is building Condomun. Major project of this nature. Do we know whether it has any legislative generation? Was it generated from the national legislature? Was there any discussion about major project of this nature? Even the funding that the government can say, oh, money came from private. How can private individuals put their money, or government will accept money from private individuals to a project that has national security in nature? Gentlemen, the question is, did the Ministry of, because the whole reaction emanated from the Ministry of Information. Did the Ministry of Information, did they do well in handling this whole information concerning the project? Did they really do well, or did they flop? Let me hear.
The first thing, the Information Minister Pia, Sando, and other deputies, I think they answerable to the president. They have bosses too. That they answer to. They also follow instructions of the bosses. Had it not been the case, they would have spoken on their own, but I believe that they must have gotten approval from the president to at least say something, because the pressure getting too much. They've succumbed, the government has succumbed to public pressure. Though they were keeping it confidential, but because of public pressure, the government surrendered to the public. So it's no more confidential. You made mention of Georgia's condominium and this project we're talking about. They're far away from each other. The first thing, Georgia condominium are personal things. They're personal properties. Whether, no matter, I don't want to know under which circumstances he built them, but they are personal.
No, I mean, we're talking about the concerns that were raised at the time.
Yeah, the concerns were genuine.
Fine.
The concerns were genuine because in less than 6 years of your power, for you to have built, some people say, I've not seen them, 42 or 48 condominiums, 47 condominiums for yourself. But the project we're talking about, I understand, it has a conference room that can accommodate, I don't know, 500?
Yeah, 500.
500 persons. So it is impossible for Joseph Boga to be a private house or home and have 500 seats for who? For a family people to come every day, gather there and have meeting. That's not possible. The two things, they're far different from each other. But what matters is that, look, for the government to have kept this thing secret and say for confidential reason, and stay, if the government had kept quiet until the whole thing is completed and come up with this explanation, to me, it would have been better than succumbing to public pressure to have come up to expose why you were keeping confidential. To me, it's a weakness, complete weakness. And so it's a public relation disaster. I agree with Moses. A public relation disaster. So who knows whether the government is also building some secret project somewhere else.
So let me say this. That's why I said the journalists will want to go deeper to find out the source of the funding, whether it came to the budgetary appropriations or not. But I didn't even listen that the minister said it came from MRU and then the other sources of forming private corporate. Look, there is no law that stops.
No, the statement said government initiated a project.
Of course. So government can do that. But there's no law that says that the country of Liberia, if Liberia is doing a project, that she cannot get donations. But those donations should not be used for personal use. So even if the president go out there, he get a gift, that gift should be for the country, not for the individual. So there's no law that has been broken in that essence if people put money into this. Now, then look at the proximity of FOIA. Mana River is basically the 4 major countries that are within our sub-region: Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast. Now, the leaders of Liberia has played a very significant role in these organizations, including ECOWAS. And whenever leaders come here, we take them to Monrovia, because that's the only picture that they see. Now, the idea for the government to even conceptualize and say that build an event that is they build an infrastructure that is close to almost all of the countries, so that when the leaders are coming, they don't come through the airport, they come through the road and cross across, so that we all see what we need to do. For me, I think it's in good faith. We've beaten on the government to say, look, come up and tell us what this project is about. And they've come up in good faith to say to us that, look, this is a Mana River project. It was initiated by the government of Liberia. And like Brother Kennedy said, nobody going to take the property and put on their head and carry in different county. It's going to remain there for Liberia. The next thing is that government needs to make sure that after the completion of these properties, because monies have been spent, after the completion of this property, we do proper accounting, auditing purposes to know that the money that was spent was actually spent.
Okay.
And then also we put policy in place to always maintain this property because of national assets.
Okay.
So let me just say something. Mr. Family, that is a good try. Let me applaud you for that. All the justification you guys trying to make, these justifications will not help the government. Oh, well, LOFA is adjudiced, FOIA is adjudiced. Can someone mute, please? There's echo in the background. FOIA is adjudiced situated. Let's do some reasonable thinking here. The government opted to initiate a project that cost more than $6 million under the cover of what? Darkness. And it is the same government that is traveling the world asking for favor. Go to JFK. People go to JFK. Patients are held as hostages because they cannot pay what medical bills. You look at the schools in the country, they are in shabby conditions. You go to the University of Liberia, the learning condition is appalling. And you take a government that say, hey, I will invest $6 million. I will not tell you. The only time we tell you when the project comes to an end, I have security concerns. The question that any rational person will ask, what necessitated this project? Why now? What is the urgency? What do we stand to benefit as a country? Nobody in government can answer this. It is difficult to be Minister of Information. It is difficult to be our deputy. Because a lot of people are you. Thank you.
Okay, another thing I'd like to add. I heard Kennedy saying that the building, no one will put a building on their head and carry it anywhere in Liberia. So how is that statement different from what Natana Mange said, and he was lambasted, that even if we stole money, the money is spent here, we not carry it anywhere? And the same people would lambasted him, accuse him. They say, oh, the mayor admitting that he steal the money, boy, because the money is spent here, it doesn't matter. That's the same thing he's saying. There's a building that has come.
Someone says something good to understand.
No, you said that nobody will put a building on your head.
I told you here, and I'm still repeating myself. It is true we didn't know who was constructing the project, but it is a physical structure
that no one put on their head.
No one will put it on their head to carry it. We will still know who doing it. Try to understand that message I said before you try to compare with.
Nathan Mange said the money, even if we still money, we spend it here. We not carry it anywhere.
That's not the meaning, the definition of what I was saying. So it was my time to speak when Mr. Sami actually came in to inject. Let me say this. The idea of government keeping public projects, how to call it,
confidential.
In the eyes of the media that form themselves between the public, the ordinary people, and the government, is wrong. The government should give information through the medium, the media, to the people, what is going on. If he didn't do that, I agree with the word, it's a PR disaster. It's not a good thing. But I look at the intent of the project that Mr. Famble was speaking to. Yes, it's true. Mr. Sandy said it would take sometimes almost like the whole time, administration's time, to explain themselves, clarify themselves to the public why this project was going on. They didn't say. I empathize with everything he said, but it won't be a difficult thing if all the information is rightfully available. The questions that we ask here about the TPCC process, who the contractor, the actual cost, this and that. Once the public gets to know, it is a public property. It is not one of former President Weah's condominium. It's not private property that the biggest thing we wanted to know, but it's government Liberia's property. And I got to clarify this for Mr. Sandy. It's not because we all say that JFK or some people there don't able to pay hospital bill. So the government should not build any other structure anywhere. We should just spend all the money on JFK. This is Liberia. Look at the age of the country. We funded the OAU. OAU went to Addis as their headquarters.
ECOWAS.
We funded ECOWAS. It's gone to Abuja as their headquarters.
League of Nations.
We funded EcoBank. EcoBank went to Lomé. I shed tears when I went to open EcoBank office in Lomé. The MRU. We should let go.
Okay, so gentlemen, we'll have to transition quickly. You listen to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prom FM, Monrovia 105.5. Now, gentlemen, we can outrightly dismiss that this project is not needed.
The intent is good.
I'm coming. We can outrightly dismiss that this project is not needed. The project is needed in our country.
That transparency.
And let's give the government the kudos for thinking about in fact initiating such a project. But honestly, the manner in which it was handled by government actors has created the whole PR disaster that we're talking about. Now, gentlemen, many of us on this program, we are all media personnel, except our colleague Edwin. Now, and let me begin with you, Dave. With the disaster that has occurred as a result of the way the Ministry of Information, the Minister of Public Works, and the rest of others who spoke about this project created conflicting accounts. And as a result of that, it has created this whole PR disaster. How do you think this government can do a damage control? Because clearly it takes away from the government. It takes away from the government. People will see the government as a government that doesn't say the truth. You start a project, and because of public pressure, you decide to keep it until public pressure is mounted before you come out to speak. It's like, you in a house, you lie, big lie to your wife. You begin to wonder and begin to calculate, how do I now, change the mind of my wife from what I've said? How do I make her to see me as somebody who's honest when I've lied like this? What do I do so that at least I can repair the damage that I've been caused? What sort of PR, what sort of damage control can this government do? Because like Moses said, and it is reality, it will haunt this government continuously up to 6 years of the government. Because for major government actors, Daniel Sando came and he attributed it to MRU. Later on, we heard MRU say, no, I'm not aware. Later on, Kula came. She said hers. Far different. Later on, from the mansion again, the deputy minister, she said hers. That was quite different. We heard also from the Minister of Public Works, and now who's also be managing government's project. He said he's not aware. If you look at that, they've relied on the oaths because all of them took oaths. Now, for the government to repair this damage, what kind of damage control? Coming up lately, I mean, the damage has already been caused. You've already, misinterpreted and misinformed the people. You misinformed the people. Now you're coming up to say, okay, let's try to clarify as a result of public pressure. What sort of damage control do you think? And how does this government ensure in the future that this doesn't happen anymore?
The first thing is that the barrage of criticisms and condemnations the government suffered because of the government promise that it came with clean hands to have undo what the previous government did. Transparency and accountability.
To clean the mess.
To clean the mess.
To rescue the mess.
And no business as usual. And this is an example of business as usual. But how can the government clean this? I think people should know their term of references. Gerald Limepia is the official spokesperson of the government.
Surely.
So any other thing concerning government PR or information dissemination should be coordinated with the office of the information minister, and not people speaking from different angles from their different offices. It's a usurpation of function of the Minister of Information. It is the information minister who is the official spokesperson of the government. So if anything of this nature, the Kula Fofana, yes, you are the press secretary to the president, but you are subservient. I don't know whether that's the appropriate word. You're subservient to the information minister. He is your boss, one way or the other. So all government information dissemination should be coordinated with the office of the Minister of Information. That's his term of reference to speak on behalf of the government. So the best way forward is that this has taught them a great lesson. They should coordinate their activities in terms of handling government.
Okay, let me hear from you, Eddie. How can the government clean this mess? Because
it's very simple, very simple. And I will take it from here. Look, I think what has happened has been this coordination between the various sectors of the governance structure. Now, I can vividly say the reason why folks at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs responded to this particular incident, it was because the president was being brought into the picture. And it is their duty as the spokesperson for the president's office to respond to it.
That's a poor analysis. No. That's a poor analysis you are giving.
Why?
Because the president was brought into the picture, and so those at the mansion have to. No, you heard David Tabler. People should know that term of reference.
Chief.
If you are not to comment on it,
Chief, when you are the presidential press secretary, and you are giving your regular press briefing, and somebody asks you about the project in FOIA,
you could say there's no comment.
No,
there's no comment.
No,
absolutely not.
It would have drawn more question.
No. Listen.
Let's go back to the Minister of State.
Edwin.
When the Minister of State said, I have no idea, because he didn't want to talk about it, it was misinterpreted. That he's trying to hide something. When the Minister of Public Works say, I have no idea about it, you say here,
let me hold you there.
That the Minister of Public Works is supposed to
let me provide information.
I come in Moses. Let them come to George Kennedy.
I think
the question is, George, this has taken away from the government.
Yeah.
Now, how do we do, because all of our part of the government, how do we do a damage control and also ensure that in the future that doesn't happen? This sort of a PR disaster doesn't happen anymore.
I agree with Mr. Tabler's initial position that the government information dissemination should be well coordinated and channeled through the right institutions. Apart from that, what really has saved or is going to save this government is because they have admitted that it is not private property. It is for the government of Liberia. That's the difference between this project and the condominium, the 17 condominium. So the Liberian people now know that this property is for them. What you need to do now to follow is tell them the cost, who did the job, and this, that. Why you went to PPCC process, this, that. You engage the media that way. If you finish with this project, in the very elementary language I'm saying, you try to get media people going there, to try to make the people to see how the property looks like.
That's the damage control you're talking about.
Yeah, the beauty of the property, how it changed the entire place. If you have videos of how that place was looking at before you show, it will help.
So how do we avert in the future? How do we prevent?
You shouldn't do this. Coordination.
Okay.
You shouldn't do this. The Liberian people, vast majority of Liberian people trust President Boakai. He doesn't need to hide anything when he wants to do it. And, so he just need to say, "Oh, I want to put this here," and then go ahead and do it.
Okay. And, Moses, let's hear from you. How do we clean this PR disaster and also prevent the future?
Well, that is an uphill task for the government. Look, when people trust you and you betray that trust, it can be very difficult to win their support. Because they will always have a second thought. Whenever they deal with you, they say this man here, a man, as we say in Liberian parlance.
Yeah.
You can't rely on him. And that is what I say. This is a disaster for the government, and that is something that this government will live with for the next 6 years. And how do we resolve this? Quick, let me say this. Anything that has to do with the state, such pronouncement comes from the Minister of Information. So David Tagwe is absolutely right. Mr. Kennedy is absolutely right. It is the Minister of Information that speaks for the government. This project we're talking about now, which the government says is government's project, any pronouncement regarding that, regarding this project, should be emanating from either the Minister of Information or his principal deputy, Daniel Sando. Kula Fofana's role is to speak for the office of the president. Kula has nothing to say, "Oh, well, this is what happened in Lofa." All she needed to do, look, the government will speak through the Ministry of Information. So now, quickly to wrap it up, let me say this. Government needs more coordination. Government needs more coordination. We have too many people in the government who are speaking for the government. They are speaking on issues that they have little or no clue. So, for example, Mo Ali is managing director of Water and Sewer. From the onset of this government, Mo Ali was making what? Policy statements. At one time, I spoke to Minister Pierre. I said, "Look, Pierre, you guys need to get your PR team together. Too many people talking in the government. That makes your job really difficult. I'm telling you the truth. There got to be one spokesman and more coordination. That's what the government needs." Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Moses, and the rest of you. I think you did justice to this to the discussion. Yeah, you did justice to the discussion. Unlike Fabulous. No, but honestly speaking, gentlemen, I know Minister Pia. Minister Pia has the capacity. He has the wherewithal to perform in that position. When I used to serve at LBS and I was doing the Super Money Show, I had 1 hour for Minister Pia every Wednesday talking about presidential issues. So I know him very well. But I think maybe because of those around him, he's slipping off. Seriously, he's slipping off. On major issue like this, and like David said, Minister Pia should be the only the only one speaking on these sort of major government actions and policies. It shouldn't be presidential press secretary, or it shouldn't be anybody else. The Minister of Information. And I tell you what, before the government even initiated the project, when the idea came, the PR team should have gone to work and said, look, how do we communicate this to the public? That's the work of the PR people. That's the reason when we tell people it's good to go to school, it's good to learn your area well. That's what the PR team should have done. Go to a meeting or reach a meeting and say, look, gentlemen, how do we communicate this? Because we know when this project starts, Liberia is small. Somebody will take a ride to a foyer and they see a big or gigantic project, coming up, and they will take pictures and bring it up. What do we say immediately? That should have been the PR team first approach. We had a situation when I used to serve as communication director at the Ministry of Health. We had a situation. We had some, outdated drugs that needed to be disposed of. But the point is, if you do so, people will say, "Oh, hospitals do not have drugs. Why are you, disposing of those?" Yeah, they probably wouldn't know that they were not,
Outdated,
they were outdated and they were not functional anymore, or they were not effective anymore. So when I was approached as a communication guy, the first thing I did, I went to the meeting, the SMT meeting, and I said to them, look, I will have to first carve a release, a statement that will put out before this action can be effectuated. Because I was looking at the future, I was looking ahead.
You don't want to react.
I don't want to react. I want to be proactive.
Proactive, yeah.
So I did a stuff. I did a statement, and that statement. And in that statement, what I captured earlier, what I captured in that statement was the issue with the reform that was taking place at the NDS, the National Drug Service. At the time, they just started, constructing it in how you call the place, Caldwell. So I captured that reform. And the next thing I said, so as a result of the reform, we're able to do some assessment of the materials there. And they are all outdated, will be, But that particular aspect of the statement came down to the bottom of the press release. And you know the reason why I did that? Because I exploited the reading culture of the Liberian people.
Yeah.
Many of us, we don't read. We just read the first, second, third line. We through that. So I put that sensitive aspect way down. Did that process, that exercise, and nobody, it didn't come in the media, nothing. And the statement I did, I said to my media colleagues, I'm giving this statement, just publish it as it is. And it was published. There was no noise. So again, for the government to prevent the future, when these major things are about to happen, they should tell Jeremy Pierre. Let Jeremy Pierre call his media people and they decide on how to communicate. How to communicate. Let them be proactive. Let them make Jeremy Pierre be proactive. You see what they were doing now? They were all reacting now. So as a result, reacting, everybody's saying their own thing. Oh no, we don't know about it. Oh no, the person. At the end of the day, it created a PR disaster. I know Jeremy Pierre, he has the capacity. In fact, when he was serving in the last administration, he had something called the Interministerial Information Coordination Strategy that they had meeting. Every time they were having that meeting all the government PROs, and I doubt it that's in place now. So I'm hoping that, but we all did justice to the topic. General Booker Rod is out. Booker Rod is out. I'm sure that's our last discussion before opening lines. Booker Rod is out. Do we have Booker Rod video when the man was driving from the prison, the government driving very confident?
Oh look, Ajoma, please, I beg to leave. I just got to a meeting, and I have to be in the meeting now. It was a great show. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, Moses, thank you.
Enjoy.
We'll see you
Sure.
on Friday. By God's
Okay,
grace. Yeah.
bye-bye.
Let's see Bucky real quickly.
Bucky has been released here. Bucky has been released here. Bucky has been released, and our fans are here jubilating, taking a seat for Bucky right here.
Well, gentlemen, Bucky Roy is out. And let me give the business again. Let me provide the business. We saw how Bucky Roy was picked up. I think in our last discussion we had a video here when Bucky Roy was taken first to the DA office.
The DA office. Yeah.
And after which we saw Bucky Roy taken to the Pittsville Ministerial Court. Yeah. And what was more shocking to me when we saw the convoy of DA vehicles, about 7-8 pickups, rushing Bucky Roy to
the Monroe.
I think you saw that video. We replayed that video. Bucky Roy alone, we had to burn all that fuel. We had to spend all that huge money, public money. We put it in the vehicle, bulk gas. We put it in the vehicle. We said we're taking Bucky Roy to look. We said we're taking Bucky Roy to Central Prison. And we took Bucky Roy to Central Prison. In 24 hours, Bucky Roy is walking out as a free man. He's being given to his lawyer. Gentlemen, what does that say about our health, about our fight against drugs? When there's a law on the book that it is not bailable. There are people currently at the Monrovia Central Prison. They were picked up because apparently they saw just small one with them. Bucky Roy is out. Let's hear from you, Talbot.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but what I do know is that the law criminalizes possession and the importation of drugs, of controlled, I think that's what it's called, controlled drugs.
Yeah.
But there is a distinction, and the distinction between, categories, intent and quantity. Maybe the lawyers here will help me out. Intent and quantity. And you talk about the drug law also is not billable. So from what I said, I don't know under what circumstances that Bucky Roy was released. And initially you mentioned something about the long convoy. The purpose of the long convoy, my best guess is the purpose of the long convoy is because of his celebrity status. You remember when he was arrested?
Because celebrity
wait. No, I'm coming to you. No. First of all, when you were picked up, we all talked about that the last time. When you were picked up, you saw the crowd. Why was the crowd huge? Because of his celebrity status.
Does that justify?
No. Let me land. Let me land.
Okay, go ahead.
That is not a justification.
Okay.
But what I'm driving at is that, look, it's possible that if a Bucky Roy was driven in one or two vehicles, who knows whether maybe the same crowd that we saw would have maybe overwhelmed the one vehicle or the two vehicles carrying him to the police station. So they needed more manpower because of his celebrity status I made reference to. It's not a justification. But the other thing, his release from prison in less than 24 hours of bad precedence. It undermines the fight against narcotic substances, the government fight against drugs. No matter what justification or reason given, it is non-billable. Bucky Roy admitted being in possession of narcotic substances. He even admitted using narcotic substances. So under what condition or circumstances was he released? So that thing, whatever reasons they must have given or they have, I think the government has shot itself in the leg in terms of its determination to fight drugs.
Okay.
So I will start with this point.
And you are the lawyer here.
No.
Yeah,
You are the lawyer in training.
Let me give a disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer yet.
No, you are a lawyer in training.
I'm a lawyer in training. Of
Okay, lawyer.
course.
Okay, you're a
Yes.
cop. You're a cop lawyer.
I'm almost out because by February I will be out of there.
Yeah,
I will sit there by
you
and
almost-
then become a lawyer.
You're almost there, my man.
Now, but let me say this. You see, most of our laws, that's why people keep saying that we need to look at our laws, because the Constitution says any laws that contravene the Constitution is not of all. Now, the issue of bail bond is a constitutional matters, except for capital offenses, meaning somebody killed, murder, or something. Capital means going for the head. So if it's an offense that has to take your life, then it means that those kind of offenses are not bailable, felonies, right? Now, the issue of drugs, like he rightly said, looking at the quantity, the intent, was it intended to distribute? Was it intended for personal consumption? He said on a live video that he have it for his personal use. So if any lawyer, if a good lawyer can go and make a case at the court and say, look, but this does not fall within the realm of not bailable offense because it's just having this for a use, the judge could rule and say, look, since this is only for the man recreation purpose, you can take him on bail and bring him back to court. So that once they can set a bond for him, his lawyer can sign for him, is granted under the law. Now, what I found
it's not bailable.
No, that's why I say it depends on the argument of the lawyer. Now, the issue of bail is a constitutional issue that you are entitled to bail, except for capital offense and felonious,
which includes
murder.
No, which includes also
murder, rape,
and drug.
Yeah, but now that's why I'm saying, to what extent does the drug component extend to say that if you are doing it for personal use, all right, what is it? Does it fall within the realm of that not being billable? Or are you a distributor? Are you breaking it in to give it to people? All right. So now that's where the lawyers now will have to argue the distinction between the two. And then if the judge sees that, look, I don't think this fall within the actual intent of that law, then we can release him on bail. Now, where I found, with the issue, like you rightly said, look, the DEA is part of the executive branch of government. Once the person has been brought before the court, the person is now before the judiciary aspect of the government. Therefore, it is the Ministry of Justice and the DEA that prosecute. Now, when a judgment is made for that individual to go to jail, it is not the Ministry of Justice or the DEA that's supposed to take the individual to jail. There is a whole correction center under the Ministry of Justice that work along with the court system, with the sheriff. They put you on, they restrain you, put you on cuff, put you in the bus, and they drive you to the police station. But that whole act of the DEA convoy going, I think it was just abuse of power. It was
and a waste of taxpayers' money. Put few in all those cars and
then their publicity,
running with bucket roll and after 24 hours you release bucket roll.
Publicity stunt.
Yeah, let's hear from you.
Sure, man. Sure. Okay, but really, I follow a write-up from former DEA Deputy for Operations, Hussein Fatika. And on his page, it's there. He said, the law says that such quantities, like 31.6 grand, is bailable under the law, the law creating, establishing the DEA. So I will argue from his point, because he's there, he worked there, and so he enforced our law here. He said when he was there to free a lot of people without carrying in the court.
Okay, all right.
He said the DEA is right to take him to court, but they also have the right to use their judgment to allow him to go. Okay, so that's when my thinking about this whole thing changed. So his release was not strange to me.
So it means that, they should have taken him to court, right? Maybe they would have just used that discretion that the quantity we saw with him is
but he was behaving very rude.
Negligible, and
he was behaving very rude. His action on the video that we saw, almost like physically attacking the officers. Listen, probably that what led them to have carried him. So they got the right to carry him to court.
Okay, but the manner in which they took him now with that long convoy.
Yeah, so When they went to pick him up, when his fence turned up, it became a little bit risky. That convoy was not bad, but they carried him to the prison with that convoy.
Yeah.
That's so much about.
So let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it was right for them to take him to court.
Yeah,
Now, you do not. Nobody has the right to enter your home to do search, except they have a search warrant, and that warrant comes from the court.
Yeah.
So therefore, if the court issues a warrant to go to my house and go and search, you have to go. You have to take whatever you
carry
back to the court along with the suspect. So that's so. I think that's why they went to court, because nobody has the right to go into your house and say they want to search without a warrant. If anybody come to your house and say they want to search you, the very first thing ask them, they should have a warrant.
So the DA didn't have warrant.
A magistrate. No, they do have, because if they never had, but you would have allowed them to enter. And he was going to be have 100% right to stop them.
All right, gentlemen, let's take a few calls quickly. I hope you can get a few calls quickly. Time 0778.
Yeah, look at the message.
Let me just announce the number quickly. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Better still 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. We've been talking about the person calling my private number. Let me take this this call quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, David Coty, my name, and good evening to everybody else.
I think I'll have to store this number. So anytime you call me, I just reject your call.
The president's friend.
Yeah, let's hear from you.
Okay, I want to say this in the case of the FOIA issue. I want to thank the government. The government is a listening government. When I became it's a listening government. This is what mature governments do. It's a listening government. When I became a teacher in Frontier in 1974, a similar thing happened with the DEO at the time. I'm not going to call his name, who became so adamant and stubborn, not disclosing certain things I don't want to talk about now. He's deceased, now a dead man. But at the end, he suffered. He was nobody respected, not credible, and he died with it. But when you can come out, we're saying in Liberia that it is never late to do the right thing. Better late than never. For people to say that this thing the government came up with at this time was not good, it will diminish, contrary to comments, that it will damage the image or chances of the government or the party in 2029, I disagree. In fact, it's going to boost the morale.
No, but I don't think anybody talk about 2029 here on this show tonight.
No, I heard it.
Sandy said
Sandy. For the government party in 2029. I tell my good friend David. And one thing I noticed, I can't see the face of David Tagwell on is he always calling by telephone, by phone, or what?
No, David is on the program. We're trying to work around that to get another camera, another phone. Maybe you can donate that to this program. We'll appreciate that.
Yeah, we can talk about that here because that's my friend. I don't see his face.
Then you begin to see his face when you said when you donate to the program. Thank you. Let's take another call.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Let me take this call up quickly.
Okay.
Good evening. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Put on loudspeaker.
Oh. It seems that we're getting a problem with this phone here. Please check out quickly. Yeah. Good evening. Okay, let's hear from you from Bomi County. Let's hear from you.
This is just the issue. Even when Bobby he could not have ruled. So you put it under the deal not selling to court.
Okay. Okay, he's asking even if he didn't act rude, what are the DA would have taken him to court?
Of course they would have.
They would have taken him to court.
According
according
to the former DEA director for operations, the quantity he had, the cutting herb was low. So they will have rendered, it was their right to render that judgment either to take him to court or to let him go because the quantity was low, in line with the law. That is argument.
Okay, let's take this call down quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir. On speaker. 0778-460-793. Better still 0886-050507. Better still the alternative line 0776-540-987. Again, 540-987. If you are finding it difficult to call the studio line, you can just call this alternative line 0776-540-987. Again, 0776-540-987. Yeah, Dave, you are speaking.
The point I wanted to raise is that, look, I know the law.
Okay, let me take this call.
Yeah,
up,
okay.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you quickly. Your name?
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Let me say good evening to your college here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I want to speak on the FOIA project.
Okay.
Someone, you know, I follow it, but to be honest, no amount of damage control, quote unquote, can save this government. You know, what a government or a government raise the hope and aspiration of the people so high, only to come and fall under the weight of their own debate about uplifting the people from hardship. It's become pragmatic somewhat. I mean, Omen Boakai is one of the presidents. Yeah, I didn't support him. Let me declare what it is. I didn't support him, right? Because I didn't see it in him. But we said, someone else said that our federal competitor are saying this man got some experience. I want the presidency. That's what they see. And someone else thought, oh, he is, and the quote unquote explain that people, I mean, trumpets all the time. He was going to do things differently. So how a president that is constitutionally elected, there's not a military government, or is it maybe the man who is the head of the school, anything he wants, that what happened? I mean, you are running a project, a peer in FOIA. And we have the presidential security, the EPS, they're guarding the property on having security guard. Even those potential like people who are people, media public like you, I mean, start putting on the social media. I mean, it was fake. People have to raise their life to say these photos. So how can a government project, as they are telling today, a government project suffer? Will be carried out under that for Emmanuel. How come this project could not be broken?
Okay.
Project?
Okay.
So,
Yes, quickly, other callers are on the line. Yeah.
Thank you. The ordinary people, I mean, here mother say Labrador is gullible, but I don't think people continue to be gullible. So it's clear that this government has abandoned the agenda for which the ordinary people voted for.
Thank you.
What we see now is a master of wealth and people are caring for themselves. Thank you.
Thank God. Thank God he didn't vote.
Let's take the caller in that. 1 minute. Yes. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Josh and the other panelists, how you guys doing this?
We are okay. We are okay.
Yeah, okay. The name is Ambassador Divan Tiapo, Political Apostle in 2020 from District 16.
Okay.
Yes, let me commend you guys this evening for the show. There is something I want to say is that, you see, this is why we say an opposition is very much necessary in any democracy or in any country. But what happens is that if a particular opposition is not knowledgeable into what they are doing into politics, and definitely they will fall flat or they will fall flat. What I'm not trying to say is that CDC has an opposition party. They were not good in voting, and then they are still not good in what opposition. You see, recently it was a good ground that the opposition had, the project that is taking place in Lofa County, but they agreed to break news, they agreed to make the government look and then operate to the public. They were just all around the corridor and saying that the government is not working, the government is building mansions. What they're doing is that their wicked attitude of Mr. We are yesterday, they want to actually predict to President Poga because George Weah yesterday he built on the money so they won't forward Poga to do the same. But they were not smart. Why is should they play the devil advocate? If President Poga government or President Poga choose to want to build that place there and as the personal property, and then they should await. But what it is that the message that they preach, they even make the government now to be smart and play that game to say, okay, then send it in a case here, let's do it this way, let's send the project in the other way. But if they want to wait and make the project is undertaken, then and what happened, and then the government now they see with the project was Poga, then means that we're going to expose Poga. But then what happens is that they have no clue against Poga because the government already plays smart rule.
Okay.
Indeed, the project is for the M and for the Mano River and other regional people. So definitely it's in no game, so that project is few.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously, thank you.
Okay, many thanks. You made a point. 0776 540 987. That's the alternative line. Let's take this call on the line. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, my name is James Crowley.
Okay, Mr. Corley, let's hear from you quickly.
I've been monitoring this program, the Project Info. On all the media I've been monitoring. I mean, the officials of government have spoken about this project prior to the information coming out from the information ministry. I don't think any of these officials spoke what the content of the information released by the information ministry. Everything that they gave us is all in the Minister of Information, Manara Union, and Manara Union in the report. The security nature, and security nature is mentioned in the property, and yes, the government has told government property. So they did not speak outside of the content of the people are just saying, oh, the people spoke, they're confused. The people they're not confused, they were just giving gist. All of these gists are related to the of the project.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the second thing here is people make issue out of common sense. Oh, the project that because the public pressure, so they say, if you Kalasco, the president tomorrow, go live, he has already told that government property. You will say that president, you look at it, they happy. So that's a government property. Lastly, the financial project cannot be revealed to the public now because the multiple source of donation has already been supposed to donate. So the government cannot come up now and give you until the project has been dedicated. We can start talking about how much you're putting
Okay.
in the project.
All right. Many thanks. Many thanks. Many thanks. Another caller, please. 0778460793. Better still 0886050507. Or the alternative line 0776540987. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir. Is this Pascal David? Pascal, hello? Pascal, I would like you to apologize for the invective you use that, before we can have you on this program. Carly apologize because you didn't do well the last time.
All right. So, I mean, like I tell you all day, I've known Itagwe for a very long time. I think it is a car. And then where I even started following somebody. We are different character. Time we are carried away from people think our future should be. And push to say something for the state. I also use this medium to impact that, there are people who they use some of these things to personally get about. I don't think it was intentional. To your panelists, let me say, I apologize. Take that back.
All right.
So, yeah, I take it back.
Yes, quickly.
Yes, so I will be very concise. So, someone you were here, I see you are at MBS. Quote unquote, in the can, the quote unquote, people conducted report. I mean, there was a court report on that. And I mean, yes, the current government did not believe it. There was a report. In the country, there was an assessment on the remains of all of the bodies. Yes, the government did that. So they're telling us, and it's not too hard. All of the area has on the sand. There are people who think as the boss. People like us who are very critical. If the government was not you know about what open government is. Most of your panelists want to agree that they know what government is. The government must be open to the people. Sometimes you tell us that you invest for 1 million in a project, government, but cannot be announced to the does that?
Okay.
Who does that? And you come here, you won't believe that the government is all supposed to celebrate because they're supposed to know initially they would last today, they would last during 2028, they would last.
Okay. All right, Minister, we'll have to take another call on the line quickly. You made your point, 0778 460793, better still 0886050507. We've been talking about the stand protest today. We also talk about the government breaking silence at long last on the FOIA project, and the Boca Roll. He has been walked out of prison. Let's hear from you quickly.
Good evening, Mr. John.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to Mr. Tape and your panelists on the platform. My name is particularly speaking family people around the 18 Kennedy, where the government tried to see out there before judge the regular job. Like I said to you last time on your platform, I said the issue in local country, the almost like 126. The president cannot go Kenya, and now today, we librarians, we are seeing the pregnancy. I think what we can do now, so to take the pregnancy to only see our back to work along with it. No more just be able to see the world shape this.
Okay.
Now, talking about for me, I always said this. I want to support the government 100%. I can't even let me. As I see the region, and they show, I don't want to fall back up now. So I got no regret. So if I hear for me, I regret it. Because I said it with some, and not the 100%. But so many percent, 100% said it with no regret. The only thing we can do for this one, I'm not part of any what the intellectual brigade, the military party, I'm part of no brigade because I'm an independent thing. Always sit in my latest corner to think why one thing. I was beyond the point where I said, oh yeah, this is what happening. It is not good for our country. This technology, you cannot get it here, not as good as you. I said, my technology. I go on traffic.
All right.
We have to depend on our own solar. We will not continue to exploit that or to take to be support human being in the country. For me, politician is support human being. Every human he cannot make mistake.
Okay. All right. You made your point. You spoke long. We have to take another call and then quickly asking additional calls. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Your name. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Let's hear from you.
Yes, this is the voice of Lawrence here.
Okay.
And I joined you from a district of 9, Boston County resident.
Okay.
You get me?
Yes, I'm getting you. Go ahead quickly.
Thank you. You spoke of 2 touch points. So let me see with the first one how to do it. For the today protest that was held by STEM, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
All right. So let me congratulate and appreciate STEM and its Harrogate in presence of Modubaki Modu, who is the head of STEM, right? And all of associates. I think today the people keep out in a normal, and the objective of today's protest was met. But though the police accepted brutal last people, or though the police brutal last people today, but the people came out in a normal, and the protest was successful. I listened to some other people saying that protests were not successful because people did not come in at normal. Or the numbers wasn't many. So let me tell you something. I have been flipping 2 pages
of Liberia Constitution. There's nothing within the Liberia Constitution that says that the whole of protest should be 10,000, should be 20,000, should be 50,000. A single individual can protest once a message is in heard. That's a protest alone. So today, for the huge amount of numbers to come out today, to go down there, we said we're going at the ground of the mansion, and that is what we did today.
Okay.
We did not say we're going in the executive mansion. We did not say we're going to the office of Mr. Bwaka. We did not say we're going to sit at the living room of Mr. Bwaka's office at the executive mansion. We said we're going on the ground of the executive mansion. And there's the executive mansion comprises of the executive mansion, it comprises of the Capitol building, and it comprises of the Justice Ministry or Justice Ministry. So we went there today. That was the capital. We don't have to go in for the mansion for people to know that we went at the of the mansion. So our protest was successful, although Mr. Bwaka refused to listen to us.
Okay, all right. I think you made your point. You made your point. We have to take additional calls. Time it's catching with us. We have to take additional calls quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, Saba.
Yes, sir.
Let me say good evening to all of the panelists on the panel tonight.
Okay.
That is William, and I joined this conversation for this activity. Well, I appreciate all of you for the very lucky point. Let me begin with the MRU project. So let me use the medium to appreciate it. Despite people will say government came or conflicting information that may attempt not to believe it because of this project, and government persons that were asked about this project, they did a comment, and people who made comment were in line with the project. First was Donald Trump, deputy information. He said the first time he was engaged, he said the MRU project, and people started to write MRU, asking them questions, and the people said you should ask the government of Liberia. The government have come up with the clarity, telling the people project, it is not a personal project. What it tells all the other people, they want fund to one in the shoe of we are. Look, got inaugurated within the first 2 weeks. These are the people pass around and say, Bwaka na buy house for Ami Moda. Up to date, that house cannot be seen that Bwaka bought. Bwaka say living in your house in the 80s. Today they come out again. The government say project is a government project, but they say no. They us. I'm a people. So why you can't explain it to us and that Fuji Bwaka because it is something the government say it is the public and for government and national leaders that when they come look Liberia will be taking seat on the non-permanent seat of the Security Council. Please meet Liberia to discuss issues where you want government to be carrying those people around with their no, there should be a place for the regional coming. Let the government go there and discuss issues to the region, the peace and security of the region discuss. They say no, the project, not government project, then a job project. You have to display the land leader. They will see it. Bwaka will never face the issue of we are corruption, project corruption, like in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
They was clear. Bwaka will not face the issue.
Okay. All right. Many thanks. Let's take, I'm sure, additional 3 calls, and then we can wrap it up. My panelists can give the parting comment. We can wrap it up. 0778 460 793. Better still, 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. Or the alternative line, 0776 540 987. Again, 0776 540 987. That's the numbers to call. And you are live, or 0778 460 793. That's the number. Let's take this call quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How you doing, sir?
I'm okay, sir. I'm okay.
Yeah. Let me say good evening to your co-panelists.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping on this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
My question has to do with the project in Obasante.
Mm-hmm.
We are way back in terms of development. But I would say, as a nation, we should use it wisely. Yeah. We have too much food to Africa. And then the conference center is there. a very big land piece there. This is the government couldn't and construct or even use 2 million that they say they are spending. Why they couldn't use at least 2 million to modernize the famous conference center and the whole Africa to local country to construct another facility. We already here. We have other decent centers here that we can modernize to you. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. But instead of levy, they went to country. The 6 million you use there. That 6 million, if you use 2 million, you modernize the famous conference center. And the whole Africa, the remaining amount can be used for another project.
Okay.
We are very focused. We're trying to graduate. We're trying to get on. That's what we do to help us.
Okay. Many thanks. Many thanks. Let's get another call on the line quickly. I will take on one more call and then we'll wrap it up quickly. 0778-460-793 or better still 0886-050507. I'm sure this is the last final call. Yes. How you doing? Let's hear from you.
Yeah, this is Lafama Simon calling from District 17.
Okay.
My brother, my only topic going to the protest. We told the people that Mama Moru and somebody to follow to say protest when they have 6 years of going head and scatter. They never get in the street. And today I saw them right around JFK, the road I'm leaving from Shockers are coming right opposite JFK. So the journalists were interviewing them, they were more than the protesters. So this is why we told them that Joseph Boakai is completely different from George Weah. 2029, Joseph Boakai will go.
Okay.
Will go for 12 years, and then the bad president will go for 2 years, for the 4 years. Then they just disgracing that, making that shame in front of the electoral. Thank you, man.
Okay. The man said President Boakai will go for 12 years. Okay. Well, gentlemen, we listened to the callers and we've been discussing the issue with about stand protest today, government breaking silence, about the FOIA project, Boca Raw, any of those issues. Your party comment on that. Let's begin with you.
Yeah, the Boca Raw thing, I'd like to speak on it. To me, like the prospective lawyer said, our laws need amendments. For example, the Boca Raw thing. This is a man who was caught with drugs, maybe marijuana. But the same law is saying that depending on the quantity, you can be bailed out or your punishment can be minimized. So the message to me is sending out there again is that you can buy drugs and keep it at home, just make sure the quantity is small. You know, that's to me, that's a message. Have drugs. Keep marijuana in your house, but just make sure you keep small quantity there. Even when they arrest you, you're going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a dead case.
That's the interpretation.
That's the interpretation in my view. So I don't think it's a good law.
So you're going to get something?
It need to be revisited.
You're going to get yours?
If I were in that category, I'm going to buy mine. Keep it, just make sure the quantity is minimal.
All right.
But if you buy it, then you become the person of suspect. And
no, that's not suspect.
You want to do
it? Boca Raw,
I'm saying
you took Boca Raw to prison on a huge convoy.
I'm saying now, if I'm the state lawyer, and we sent to go and search his house and he gave me that excuse, I want to know who he bought it from, because
you ask Boca Raw where he bought it from?
Crabs are not transferable. I don't have to ask.
Stop that cherry picking thing. Let's hear from you.
No, but I would like to basically speak on the FOIA project. I think the government received a lot of latches from the media on this project, and now that the government have come up, to actually explain the clear intent and the ownership of the project, I think it has laid to rest, all the speculations in terms of cause, in terms of who owns it, whether it's private property. Like most of the callers said, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I listened to one of your callers saying that, they should have gone to do Hotel Africa. So look, President Boakai, when he was in the United States, he said that all government properties that were abandoned would be resuscitated and looked after. That process begins with the Hotel Africa trying to first of all get the people from around our area to see how government can start.
Okay.
Now, the thing about the Foya project, like I said, is ideal because of the location.
Okay.
When you look at where Foya is, if it's basically for the purpose of Mana River, then that's a very ideal place because Guinea is right next door. Sierra Leone is on the other side, and Liberia is in the middle of it. So it makes it unique. And all this idea of leaders coming straight to the capital city, I think it makes them to lose out on what's happening in their own backyard. Sure. Because if Mada Bio have to drive from Freetown all the way to Foya, he would have gone through some areas and said, wow, for the first time. If Mamadi Doumbouya have to drive from Conakry all the way into Foya, he's going to see a lot of, interesting area that he needs to invest into. So I think it's a brilliant idea.
Okay. Ed. George Kennedy.
I want to appreciate the government for finally coming up to speak, to take ownership of the Foya project is laudable. I appeal to the government to keep updating the public with as the project progresses, and it's necessary to talk with the people. Some of the information that they want to know, who's the contractor, and what I went through PPCC process, how all of those things went. Yes, it's true. There are certain confidential information about the sketch and other things because it's a VIP project. They may not have interest in it, but it's good that the government finally came out. I want to say kudos to the president. That's a good project. We'll go there to see. I hope they will give me one of the villas when I go there. So
you're not president.
But I was president before. I'm a former president. John, Kennedy.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I think you all did extremely well. We did justice to the discussion. Basically, we are not against the project in Foya. We are in support. It's just that from the onset, the way we communicated the project. I think there we had that PR disaster, but moving forward, we can, I'm sure, do some damage control around that by constantly, like Josh said, constantly updating our people. And then in the future, if there's any major project, let's sit down as communication people of the government to know how we communicate it well, so that it does not create some confusion on the minds of the people. Let me recognize some of our viewers quickly. Not all. Vinicius J. Bai from New Cruton, you've been watching. Mohamed J. Conan, also from Corwell Coffee Farm, you've been watching. Henry T. Toll Sr. from Corwell, you've been watching. Victor T. Toll Jr. from Freeport, you've been watching. Ophelia S. George says you've been watching from home. Jackson Dixie from Monrovia, you've been watching. George P. Cone said she's been watching from ELW. George P. Cone. Okay, so we can call everybody's names tonight. Friday, come Friday, we're going to take about an hour, hearing from all of you, viewers and listeners, as to what do you think about the performance of our government ministers. We're going to list the ministries to you. Just grade them. Did they perform? If you say, well, the Minister of Public Works did extremely well, just say to us, how did he do well? How did he do well? If you said, well, he failed, again, explain to us why do you think the minister failed? So on Friday, we're going to take an hour so we can hear from all of you to grade your government ministers. When you give the government power, it becomes a contract. A social contract. It means that the government is under obligation to perform, to live up to that contract. So it is your turn now this coming Friday, so that you can grade the government. Ourselves as panelists will also grade our government, our ministers. We'll grade them. I also will grade them after we've heard from you, the viewers and the listeners. Until then, have a pleasant and restful night. Sabo George is my name.